Hello, I'm Thomas, lead design engineer at Detra Solar, and today I'll be talking about solar parks optimization. At Detra Solar, we believe that every solar project should be engineered for excellence, not just to meet the industry average. In this review, we will be taking a closer look at a design recently sent to one of our clients by a competitor. While from the first look it may seem that park was engineered fine, it also hides some inefficiencies and safety risk. So during this review, we will point out where it falls short and show how our optimized design can reduce costs, increase energy spark output, and strengthen safety across the site. This is how Detra Solar turns ordinary plants into high-performing future-proof solar parks. Alright, so let's start with the layout analysis. So this is the layout provided to our clients from our competitors. As we can see from the first site, it may seem like a normal layout, but let's analyze it step by step. So first things that we should look into is the obstacles within the boundaries. As we can see, there are lots of trees and bushes, even inside and outside, which are causing quite a lot of shading. And this shading is going over the modules, so it means the shading wasn't taken into consideration, which is a huge problem because it significantly affects system's efficiency and reduces energy output. Even on the southern part, the same issue can be seen. Besides obstacle within the boundaries, we should look at the problems outside. We can see that there is a water course outside the boundaries, which could signal us that there could be some flood risk problems, which should be marked up. Even looking at Google Earth, we can see that some of the ground is already affected. So which means either the soil is wet or the water is standing. So this should be indicated to the client so he can take some safety precautions like installing drainage. Besides nature problems, we should consider buildings around the site. We can see that customer substation and spare parts container are placed nearby the building, which is a problem because there should be at least 50 meters offset distance from any buildings. Talking about optimal location of the buildings and those overall stations, we should have a look at the transformer stations. We can see that transformer stations are placed way up north when the site is quite long and going towards south. That's a huge issue because transformer location is not optimized, which means we will have very long AC LV cables, which leads to high losses, as well difficult trenching. So construction phase would be very difficult overall and costly. So these stations should be relocated. Talking about optimization of the cables, we can see as well that some of the rows here are over 300, 400 meters, which means there should be additional gap for trenching. So DC cabling is optimized as well. Regarding the optimization and overall workflow, we should consider some turnarounds near the substations, especially when we have one long road without any additional entrances, because the traffic during construction phase may be very difficult since we will have lots of trucks going in and out, and the road could be blocked off without any turnarounds or places to stop as well. These turnarounds will be very useful during unloading time. So yeah, that's an important part. Regarding optimizations, we can see that the fencing wasn't really optimized. We can see it was just simply offsetted from the boundary, and there's some not needed length and not needed vertices where we can shorten the fence, simplify it so it makes the work easier as well, helps to save some money. So there are some areas where the fence could be adjusted. Besides that, overall layout seems to be lacking some information about the frames themselves, what sort of piling is gonna be used, what is the shading angle, what are the reference heights, pitch, inner spacing. So all this information is quite crucial, especially during construction phase. So that's something to be kept in mind. Alright, so let's now have a look at an updated layout by Detra Solar. As we can see, the layout changed that drastically. As we can see, first of all the obstacle problems, like for example, tree shading has been taken into consideration. Additional offsets measures has been added. Some of the shading have been shown by cones. It's preference up to client whether he wants to see it or not. So as an example, one side is with the shading cones, one is without. As well, we can see that the site right now includes flood risk zones as well. So client understands that he should take some sort of safety precautions, for example, like mentioned earlier, installing additional drainage. Talking about optimization and overall, we can see now that placement of the stations has been selected more optimal. It is way further away from the buildings as well. Additional screening has been added just to comfort the residents, local residents. Talking about additional optimizations, we can see that the roads have changed as well. We can see that transformers have been placed way more central, so now the cables are spread out evenly. We don't have like one big trench with cables and no long cables going through the entire site. So plus, talking about cables and losses, we can see that additional gap has been added on this side of the site, so the DC cables can be reduced. Besides that, we can see that turning angles have been added near the transformer stations. Fence adjustments have been done. It is way more straight. It helps to reduce the lengths, and yeah, we can see even where we are not placing modules, fence have been moved. Some additional vertices have been removed, so helps optimize it. And then as well, some additional information have been added to the layout as well. Side view of the modules with a reference height from the ground, tilt angle, shading angle, pitch, inner spacing. So those sort of details are quite important when providing a site. So that's it from my side, and hopefully this will be useful. Feel free to reach out to Detra or any additional support.